Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the stocks in the marijuana sector. Okay, first up is XXII. As you can see here, RSI and Fasto are both in the bull zone in the 60s, so that's good. There was a bullish crossover here on Fasto. Bearish crossover here on 80X. Bulls want to see that green line get back above the black line. So there was a bounce here on Friday off of EMA 8. Currently at 219. That's the key level to hold. And then you also would like to see the candles stay back above EMA 4 at 227. So that was a really nice bounce. The chart's still super bullish. The key level to break is going to be up here. The high close here on the 7th, and then here on the 4th. That's about 247. So if it can close above this red line here, that's going to signal it wants to break out higher. If for some reason EMA 8 fails to hold, the next support level is the EMA 13 at 209. And then if that level breaks, you're talking about the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average down here between 180 and 190. So as long as those levels hold, the chart is still strong. It would be best, though, if the candles continue riding EMA's 4 and 8 support higher. You can see here that there was a big close, two closes above the upper Bollinger Band, and the candles worked back into the bands. So many times when they hit EMA 8 like this, you can see how it's held for 3 days in a row. They end up bouncing and heading higher. So we'll see if this can continue the strong uptrend. There has been really good volume. The EMA, the MACD on the 8, 13, and 5 is pinched. So bulls do not want to see that black line cross the blue line to the downside. You want to see, it has just started, but you want to see the MACD line bounce off of that and continue higher. Okay, so let's take a look at TWMJF. This is also WEED on the Toronto Stock Exchange, but over the counter, this trades as Canopy Growth, trades over the counter with ticker symbol TWMJF. And so what's going on in this chart is it's pulled back and it's testing the middle Bollinger Band currently at 697. So basically $7. That is the big level to hold. That is the bottom of this current channel. And so it needs to bounce off that level to come back to test the high close back here on the 26th of July. If this middle Bollinger Band breaks, you could see a drop down here to the 100-day simple moving average at 661. That would be the key level, the next key level to hold below. And then below that is the 50-day simple moving average at 637. Those two levels should provide huge support. But the bulls do not want to see this middle Bollinger Band break. That would be a major red flag if it broke. You want to see support hold here. This is where it should bounce. It's having a tough time here with the 200-day simple moving average at 718. That's this red line. Notice how it turned into resistance. So right now the candles are at this flex point. They're either going to break support here, middle Bollinger Band, or they're going to break above 200-day simple moving average resistance. So if it's a break below, that could signal the possible start of a new downtrend. If it breaks above the 200, then you could see it potentially break above that 735 resistance zone and head higher. So yeah, keep an eye on TWMJF. It is considered the leader of the Canadian marijuana industry, and some say it's the #1 cannabis company in the world. So it would be best for the marijuana sector if this did remain bullish. There were recent bearish crossovers on MACD on both time frames, so those are red flags. Bulls want to see a bullish crossover. Okay, so let's look at SING. This trades over the counter, and it's been probably the strongest marijuana sector stock currently. It's been on the biggest run, so it could be it's hitting RSI up here at 76, so it is getting frothy. Yeah. Fasto is difficult to read because of this super fat finger here that hit 42 cents. So Fasto is all thrown off, but RSI here is telling you that it is getting frothy. What's going on is the share price ended up breaking out on Friday on a giant volume spike. Check out the Friday's volume, 97 million shares traded, so it was the most volume of the year. And the share price did break above the key resistance level that we were looking to break, this April 17th close. And so it did close above that level, so that was very good. Now you have this key support level back here in March. Okay, so that's where high of day tested on Friday, right below 7 cents, and so that's going to be a key level to break. If it can get above that, then you could potentially see a run up here to test 10 cents. You've got this around 9 here. This high close in March. It will be a key level, but if it can get above this 9 level, then you're talking about running up here to 12. The key on this chart is it's got a really nice uptrend going. The candles have been riding above EMA's 4 and 8 support, and they are trading above all the moving averages. You can see there's the 50, the 300, the 200, and the 100-day simple moving averages. So that it's trading above all of them right now. So it's very strong. The red flag is there is an unfilled gap below. So between these two candles, so you could see a pullback to 4 to fill that gap. So if it cools down, that would be the reload target off of the 100-day simple moving average and a gap fill. And so going forward next week, if it can break above 7, you could see a potential run up to that 9, 10 level. The big volume is always a good thing to see, but it did close well above the upper Bollinger Band, and it was on a multi-day run, so this could have been the climax spike, and the candles might work back into the bands. EMA 4 at 0.05 is the first support level. Okay, take a look at HEMP. This is the weekly chart. It is in the bull zone on RSI and Fasto. They both are in the 50s, so there's a lot of room to run until overbought levels. You want to see RSI stay above 50 if you're a bull. You've got Fasto at 58. There was a recent bullish crossover on 80X, and so 2 weeks ago there was a close above the middle Bollinger Band, and the candles hit the 50-week moving average here at 0.03 and failed to break that level. Okay, so that was the open last week, and then it managed to close just below at 0.028. It did come up off the lows. It tested that middle Bollinger Band zone and held. And so going forward, if HEMP can close above 0.03, that should signal it wants to head higher. And then we're looking for a close above the 100-week simple moving average at 0.037 to signal it wants to head up and test this recent high close back here in January, the week of the 23rd. So that would be a big resistance level if it did finally get above that 100-week moving average. That's close to 5 cents. But right now it needs to close above the 50-week moving average. That's the next key technical development that bulls want to see take place, and that would signal that this new uptrend is intact. As long as this middle Bollinger Band is holding, the new uptrend is strong. Notice that there was a parabolic SAR bullish flip. The green dots flipped below the candles last week, and there were bullish crossovers on MACD. So these are all signals that the chart is really heating up, and there was a giant volume spike last week. So there was really big volume, and many times volume precedes price. Okay, so yeah, keep an eye on HEMP. We're going to see if this new uptrend can continue. Take a look at TRTC. It also has a similar type of setup here with RSI and Fasto both in the 50s. So the chart is healthy, or actually Fasto's at 67, but they're both in the bull zone. ADX looks good up here, and so on this chart, it's turning the middle Bollinger Band into support. It's above the 100-day simple or 100-week simple moving average. This is a weekly chart as well. So this is a weekly chart. Each candle is 1 week of trading as opposed to 1 day. And if you look here, the 250-week moving averages have converged here at 29. So we're looking for a close above that for the week to signal that it wants to break out higher. That would be a signal that this uptrend is intact. If it fails to break those levels, if it fails to break 29, it could continue consolidating. And then down here around 22, this middle Bollinger Band, that is the key level to hold. If it drops below 22, then it will no longer be in play. But it's been, starting this new uptrend. It's been trending sideways. It just needs to break above 29 to head higher. So keep an eye on TRTC, and notice it had recent bullish crossovers as well. Okay, and then now look at AMFE. This has been one of the stronger marijuana sector stocks. It had this really big run. If you could see here, it broke above the middle Bollinger Band on the 19th of June, and then that signaled the start of this uptrend. It trended sideways for quite some time, and then it finally broke out here in the second week of July on this candle, and then it had a really, really strong uptrend for multiple weeks. It cooled down. It hit EMA 8, bounced and continued running higher. You notice how it broke above the previous high on this candle, and then it continued higher. And then we have a similar setup here as this setup here, where you know, it made a new high, and then it came back, and now it's testing EMA 8 again after 2 red candles. And so is it going to bounce off of EMA 8 like it did back here and continue pushing above EMA 4? And then if that happens, then we're looking at 23 is the big resistance level to break. You want to see, if you're a bull, a close above that level. That would signal that it's ready to break out higher. To the downside, you know, it's really all about holding this EMA 8 currently at 20. That is the key support level. Bulls want to see that hold. If you notice here on the chart, during this entire run, it's been staying above. Basically, you know, it came down here and tested EMA 13, but you know, since this entire breakout here, it's been holding EMA 8 support. So once it closes below that level, after that's been support for multiple weeks, that would be your huge clue that the chart is finally cooling down. And then you could see it drop down here to the middle Bollinger Band, down here about 17. So yeah, so this is where it should bounce. It should bounce off of 20 this week, and then go back up and test 23. If it closes above 23, that's going to signal it wants to break out to the next level. So yeah, if it breaks below 20 and closes below that level, that's going to be your red flag that 17's on deck. If it breaks below 17, well, that's going to be the big major red flag on this chart, and that would put the 50-day simple moving average all the way down here at 12. So yeah, so this is a crucial moment coming up on Monday for AMFE. It's been this really high flyer. It did correct on Fasto and RSI. RSI is now below 70 after being above for multiple weeks, and Fasto is back below 80 at 68, so they have both corrected. The lower wicks on both the last 2 candles do show loading. Yeah, and there was a recent bearish crossover on MACD, so that is a red flag with the MACD line crossing the signal line to the downside. You want to see this type of action here if you're a bull. You want to see it crossing back above, and then the 12, 26, and 9 is still looking good, but you can see the MACD lines coming down. Bulls do not want to see that crossing over. Yeah, and there was a recent parabolic SAR bullish flip, so yeah, PSAR is still looking good. Okay, now let's look at the last video on this chart. This is RMHB, and this has got a really ugly chart going. So I'm showing it to you as a one to keep an eye on, because it is fully retraced. Okay, so if you look back here, there was this huge move back in, we'll call it January, December, January. Basically, it started here into December, on the 27th of December with the close above the middle Bollinger Band, and then it finally came through got through this zone here where all the moving averages are, and closed above the 300 here in the first week of January, on January 9th, and then it just broke out, and it had this parabolic run where it ran all the way up to 18.5. And then, as you can see here, now it's retraced all the way back down to that level. So now you've got Rocky Mountain High Brands, which is a Colorado medical marijuana company, retracing all the way back down to 4. So notice how 4 was the big breakout zone before. That was the huge resistance level, and then once it broke, it was like boom, like you know, popping open the cork on a champagne bottle. The share price exploded and just had this monster run. And so now it's retraced all the way back to that crucial level, and that bounced off of it on Friday. So going forward, bulls really want to see that level hold. There was a close above the EMA 4 at 0.044. As long as candles are forming above that level, then it is going to be in play. It did form bullish kicking reversal patterns, so there was multiple red candles. So what you want to see is a break above EMA 8 at 0.046. Okay, and then the ultimate key level is going to be this middle Bollinger Band at 0.053. If it can get back above that level, then that would be a signal that a new uptrend is starting. Right now, it's in a really nasty downtrend, and it's bouncing off the low. The downside risk is if it breaks 4, you could see a drop all the way down here to 3. Okay, so that is where the bottom was back here in December, and so that would be that's the downside risk. Okay, so yeah, this is retraced all the way down to a crucial level. So let's see if it can follow through next week on this bounce, or if it's just going to keep continuing spiraling down to 3. Okay, keep an eye on RMHB. Thanks a lot for viewing this video. Check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com for more charts and technical analysis.